It's December 6th and I'm currently 7 books behind on my Storygraph goal. This means I need to read 10 books this month to reach my goal of 50. So really the weekends right now are my only hope to try and meet that goal. So we're gonna do a weekend-long reading vlog and see if I can get through 2024 short stories book, because I realized I should probably read that before, the 2025 one wants to come home with me. So we're gonna go to a coffee shop, we're gonna get some reading in there, and then we're gonna come home and we're gonna continue to read. And then we're gonna do it tomorrow. I've now put myself 12 stories deep in the collection, and I definitely have a few favorites that really stood out to me, called Viola in Midwinter. It's from the Bennington Review, and it's by Marie-Helene Bertino, a middle-aged woman who just otherwise really blends in her small town, and she lives in the woods on her own, and she's a vampire, and that is kind of, I'm not gonna give you much because these are short stories. So Seeing Through Maps by Madeline Fitch from Harper's Magazine is a story about a group of neighbors who all live in the woods together. There's a very main through of the power of words' meanings and how knowledge plays in communication, basically. That was a great chunk of reading yesterday, and I really think that we can go forth on this Sunday, December 7th, and hopefully finish this book. We did it, Joe. We finished the short story book in one weekend. I will say though that on that last short story, specifically the final 8 pages, I was fighting for sleep. So maybe I didn't give that one a fair chance, but a girl can only read so much in 2 days. One of my other favorites was called Baboons by Susan Shepard from the Kenyon Review. Baboons is about a family who has had their life kind of upended by a relapse in addiction, and they just have to shelve that because they've had a very long-awaited trip planned to go to Africa. But the one that I found to be possibly, I think, the most engaging of all of the stories, second to last, that was called Mall of America by Suzanne Wang, and it is pulled from one story. Oh, this one was so bittersweet. You're following an old man who is a customer of a mall, and then your other main character is an AI bot that is employed to run the mall from its point of view of how to most engage customers and over time increase their average spending per trip to the mall. But the AI bot and the old man kind of become friends. It's just such a take on what will happen if we, as if we haven't already, started to rely way too much and just give the keys to the car to AI. With this finished, I have now read 41 of my 50 books for the year, which means I am fully participating in 10 before the end, and this was my first of 10. So I have scoured my physical TBR shelf for the 9 most finishable books that I believe I own, and this here would be that stack. What I'm gonna pick up tonight is The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. This is a reread. Definitely read this early on in high school. I remember loving it, but I can't tell you what the plot is. So I found it in a local used bookshop, and I think it's gonna be a great reread. So that's number 1. Number 2, Love by Toni Morrison. I have not read any Toni Morrison. I don't know if this is an ideal place to start, but it is the book that I own, so we're gonna be reading that one. I've got H.G. Wells' The War of the Worlds. This might be a grave mistake on this list, but to me it is only this big. It is only this big. So it's on the list. I Want to Die, but I Want to Eat Tabaki. This one, I think I should be able to just fly through it. I know that it is maybe about an influencer or a very online main character, and I think that will be really fun and interesting, and kind of maybe a palate cleanser after Toni Morrison and H.G. Wells. Next up, we've got James Baldwin's Giovanni's Room. This one also, maybe I'm falling for just an absolute trap by picking small books. And then we've got 2 bangers that I think provide the most optimism on this list. We've got the 4th and the 5th Before the Coffee Gets Cold books. So these, because they're each 4 short stories essentially, I should be able to blow through them pretty quickly and catch a second wind. Can you tell that I've been enjoying rereads of things I read in high school? We've got another one of those, except I'm actually not all the way sure that I've read this before. Like, it feels like I have, but I don't know if I have. And that's 1984 by George Orwell. I understand that this one's like kind of slightly dense for me picking it for being small, but I know that it's like right up my area of interest, so I should therefore fly through it. And then lastly, what I've got as maybe a little reward or another grave error, I've got Carol, because I always forget to read this in December, and I am told that you're supposed to read it in December. So, with short stories down, I have 9 more books to go in my 10 before the end, and I guess we'll find out in a few weeks if I make it or not.